Join me in memorializing my soul dog in one of the cutest and most unique ways ever. Today, September 27th, is my dog Jade's birthday. She would have been 5 years old this year, in 2025. So, celebrate her and to stay connected to her and spend time with my sweetest today on her birthday. I started this special project. This is a paint by numbers canvas from Grey Duck Art. They are a woman-led small business based out of Minnesota who create custom paint kits to turn photos of your beloved pets into works of art that you then get to create. I first heard about them through my cousin. Shout out to Mandy for the recommendation. And I fell in love with the concept. They had a Memorial Day sale earlier this year, so I hopped on it and got one for myself. Creating the design was as simple as sending multiple pictures for their team to work with and letting them do their thing. You also get a solid selection of background color options, which I was pleased to see. Of course, for Jade, I had to go with a vibrant green, so stay tuned for that. The canvas came in about 2 weeks, complete with a handy pamphlet of instructions and tips for the best results, containers of every paint color that I need clearly labeled, a plastic table mat to protect the work area from any paint splatter, and a handful of brand new brushes of various sizes. I will note that they recommend completing the painting within 2 months so that the paint doesn't dry out or go bad or something, but this was perfectly timed window for me to place my order, receive the canvas, and wait until Jade's birthday to complete it. I'll admit that opening the box when it first arrived was incredibly emotional. Even without the color, my baby shone through, and I could recognize her and visualize the finished painting in my head. This rang true even as I started painting. I decided to follow the colors in numerical order, which happened to be Jade's lightest blondes, working through to her dark browns and reds, and then ending with the solid colored background. Though, in hindsight, I think it might have been easiest to start painting with the background first, just so that the edges were a little bit easier and crisper. That said, I did end up with plenty of leftover paint, so I can and did go over some of the areas that needed to be fixed. The entire painting process probably took around 3 hours or so. This was with a slow but steady pace, not too many breaks, but some distractions from my dog treat. I think a master painter, someone who's much more comfortable with a paintbrush, could probably knock this out way faster than I did. But a lot of the joy came from taking my time. Watching Jade form and come to life through the colors, and really trying to capture her essence through the memories and the good vibes and the emotion as I was painting. After completing the process, I strongly encourage people to consider looking into gray duck art. This project was really sentimental and healing, and a fantastic way for me to celebrate Jade's day with her, even though she's not here anymore. I was able to record this time lapse by hanging my webcam on the kitchen chandelier, which I maybe don't recommend. Right here, the camera actually falls, and I punctured a small hole in the canvas. Thankfully, I was able to somewhat cover it up a bit with the paint, especially after the paint dried. But I did have to take a pause after that happened to kind of cry a little bit because I was so, scared and disappointed. Luckily, the camera landed on a part of that was the background and didn't actually ruin any bit of Jade or the imagery that was of her. So just as a little bit of character, right? Maybe. The canvas is really nice, so I'll be able to hang up my piece of art, and not only will it reflect her and my love for her, but it's also something that I can be proud of because I created this. I think that there's a lot of value in embracing this creation process for all ages. It's simple enough that kids could do it. It's paint by numbers. We did that as kids. Like, not that hard of a skill set. But as an adult, there's a lot more meaning behind it. For the rest of the time lapse, I'm not really going to talk much. Instead, I'm just going to let you watch and hopefully enjoy it as much as I did.